Hi, and welcome to the Prime Reckoning. I'm Julie, and this is a channel for women over 50. Today, I want to talk about a medical procedure that I had when I was in my 30s. After my routine pap smear, I got the dreaded call to tell me that something was abnormal with my sample. I was told that I needed to have a cervical biopsy. So I went into the doctor's office and was told to lie on the exam table. Then they proceeded to rip cells out of my cervix one by one. It was incredibly painful. I had to tell them to stop several times because I thought I was going to throw up. And I don't remember how many samples they took. It seemed to take forever, and I was never offered any pain medication. I just thought at the time it wasn't an option. I remember going home. My husband at the time had driven me to the appointment, and he had brought the van. And so I remember going home from the procedure, lying in the back of the van, just curled in a ball because I could not sit down. It was incredibly painful for several days afterwards. After the biopsy results came back, I had to go back to the doctor to have these same spots frozen. Fortunately, that procedure was not painful at all, and everything turned out to be fine in the end. But it was a horrible experience. It was really not pleasant at all. So a few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Facebook, as one does, and I saw a female doctor that was talking about this procedure and also about IUD insertion. And she said that women often were not given the option for pain relief medication when it was available. And y'all, this made me so mad. I can't even tell you. And you may have had a similar experience. But, why was I not given that option? Why was I not offered that? The doctor was a man, but the nurse was a female, and she was standing there watching all this and, getting a container to catch if I was going to vomit from the pain of this procedure. So it just really pissed me off. And I got to thinking, if a man went in for a procedure in his private areas and they were ripping cells out of there, I can guarantee you that they would have offered him a pain medication, or, he would have screamed about it. But I wouldn't think that they would have done that to a guy, say, oh, you're just going to have to sit there and bear it. So that really pissed me off. For some reason, doctors don't think that women deserve pain relief in these circumstances. So, there's some shady shit going on. And I wanted to bring it up. So conversely, when I had to have a breast biopsy, before I even went in, the doctor gave me a prescription. He gave me a pain pill and he gave me a Valium. And he said, take them, a half an hour before you come in for your appointment. So I took those. I was nice and chilled. And when I got on the table to do the biopsy, of course, they, numbed the spot on my breast where they're going to take the needle biopsy from. And I didn't feel anything after the needle of the pain medicine. I felt some pressure, but that was about it. And throughout that procedure, the doctor kept asking me, are you okay? Are you feeling anything? And it was fine. And the doctors were really concerned about my level of comfort. So this imbalance of, what doctors think is appropriate and what other doctors don't, it's just mind-boggling to me. So what I can say to you ladies is be informed. If you do have to go in for a procedure, research that procedure before you go in and have a conversation with your doctor about what you expect. And say, hey, I'm not willing to do this without pain medication. I would say, if a doctor's not willing to discuss these options with you, I would walk out and find a different doctor. So, I want my doctors to be concerned about, helping to heal me, but also about the amount of pain they expect me to endure, because this crap it's a bunch of bull. So don't put up with that. Wish I knew then what I know now, but how often do we all say that? So anyway, moving on to the lighter side, I want to talk to y'all about something else that's pissing me off lately. Pissed off about all sorts of things this week. Do any of you have to drive by a school on your way to work, errands, so forth? Hopefully the road you take is more than 2 lanes, because if it's not, the line of traffic for pickup will back up the entire road, both directions, for up to an hour before the school even lets out. These parents with their entitled children snarl traffic up in both directions every day, and they don't care. I'll tell you what I did the other day. I got caught in this traffic, and I decided to turn around, and there really wasn't a break of the cars, filing out of the school. So I just pulled out and blocked this one chick, and she wasn't happy with me. But I'm like, you know what? If I have to sit in your mess, you're going to sit and wait for me to get out of here. So, I don't know. These parents, my precious child is too special to ride the school bus. Why do we still have to? And then, sorry. So don't even get me started on that. And then let's talk about school zones. Why do we even have to slow down for these things? These little turds never make it to the street anymore. They step right off the curb of the school into the SUV waiting. They probably have little drinks and snacks in there for their children. When I was in school, I had to ride the bus. I remember I lived really close to my elementary school. It was literally across the street, but I had to ride the bus all for middle school, and then for high school, we didn't get the bus, and if we couldn't be picked up from school, we had to walk. And my sister would go off and do her activities after school, so I often had to walk home alone. And one time I remember I was walking home, and I got followed by somebody in a car. And I was kind of close to what's the word I'm looking for? A set of stores and restaurants and things, a big parking lot. So I walked into the McDonald's there. And in those days, if you walked, I guess you still do. If you walked into McDonald's, you had to buy something to sit there. And I only had enough money to buy a packet of French fries, which is probably, I don't know, 69, 79 cents at the time. So I bought a packet of fries, and I sat there and I ate my fries, and I, kept thinking hopefully this guy will drive away, because I really didn't have any other options at this point. This was before cell phones, and nobody had a phone. So I sat and ate my fries, and I guess the guy finally just got tired and left and drove away. And that was the reality. I don't think it's any more dangerous now than it was back then. I just don't understand. All these entitled kids drive me nuts. Anyway. So that's my rant for today. So let's talk about our next product review. So I have hot flashes. And I don't go hot, cold, hot, gold. I go hot, hotter. It's just, I'm always hot. So I've stood in front of my freezer and wondered if I could, pull all the food and the shelves out, if I could just crawl in there. So just hot all the time. So I found these collars, again, on Amazon. Everything in my house comes from Amazon. But you put these in the freezer, and they freeze. There's ice in here. And so you just pop this nice icy collar around your neck. And it just settles like that. And it cools your entire body down. These are fantastic. And then you can run around, do your thing. Whether you're sitting down, watching videos or watching TV, if you're out working in the yard, you can put this on. If you're out running around doing whatever, you can have this on. And the reason that I bought this particular one, These come in a packet of 2, which I definitely recommend. You need at least 2 of these because while one is on your neck, you throw the other one in the freezer. And I typically will burn through one of these in about 20 minutes. Excuse me. And so while I'm wearing one, the other one's freezing. And then when this one is thawed, I chuck this in the freezer and get the second one out. And then these particular collars also came with a little cooler bag, which I have no idea where it is now, or I'd show it to you. It's just a little cooler bag. It's exactly the size of these. So if you're going out on the road somewhere, and I was getting ready to go to a park up north and be outside in the summer when it was hot. So I thought, well, I can, wear one, and then I can put the second one in the little coolie bag with a bag of ice in the middle and keep it cool, and then I can swap them out. And these particular collars will also freeze at a lower temperature. I think they freeze at like 40 degrees. So if you run them under some really cold water, or you can just put them back in your coolie bag and they'll refreeze. So I will link these below if you want to take a look at these. They're also fairly cheap. I think these are like, for the pack of these, was about $20. So anyway, they really help keep you cooler, so you can check them out. Again, please share your experiences. Drop them down in the comments below. If you have a product that you would like me to do a review on, please link that as well, or drop that in the comments as well. I'll take a look at anything you guys want me to check out for my next video. Also, if you wouldn't mind, take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps out. Hit the notification bell so you're notified. New videos will be dropped every week. So thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye.